astounding statistic that keeps rising, and that makes us extremely proud. They have shown their capabilities on the sports field, in community service activities, through a variety of performing arts, and in numerous leadership capacities. To this class, I would like to share some reflections with you. This may seem very disrespectful to those of you in the stands, but I'm not talking to you right now. So I'm turning around to talk to the people I'm talking to. Frequently, I hear students talk about entering the real world, as if it's some foreign place you've not already been. But you're there.
That's why.
And you've been here all along. However, at this special milestone in your lives, I think it's more accurate to talk about entering the adult world, since you are indeed young adults. Our world today is one of uncertainty. It's a world that is often chaotic. This was certainly proven on September 11, 2001, when among other lessons we learned, heroes aren't special people.
As a member of the Baltimore Polytechnic Institute graduating class of 2011, you have reached a goal today. The completion of 4 long years of hard work. Today is your day of recognition, a day to be honored by your parents, your relatives, your friends, and naturally the city of Baltimore and the state of Maryland. Today is your day to be proud. Proud of your accomplishments, proud of your dedication, proud of your moral fortitude, proud of your integrity, and most importantly, proud of who you are as a person. Today is your day of ownership, not only of what you have done, but of what you will do. Young people, commencement is not an ending, but a beginning of a lifelong mission. It is the continuation of your place in the universe, which began when the essence of your minds was shaped by the nebulous encounters of your early childhood and adolescence. When I entered Poly in 1990, I was a nervous freshman excited about the opportunities of being a student at Poly could possibly afford me. For the first time, I ventured to the west side of Baltimore City and entered unfamiliar territory. However, it was at Poly that I acquired a solid set of core values and non-negotiables that I continue to carry with me today. Through strong school-spirited activities and rich traditions, I learned to identify and associate myself with high academic, social, and civic standards. It was ingrained in us that nothing, absolutely nothing, less than our best was acceptable and to always strive for excellence. As a student and staff member, each day I entered an environment where positive personal and professional role models infused core academic beliefs, integrity, moral character, and teamwork to constantly remind us of what could be achieved as a result of proper planning and preparation. The eldest child of teenage parents, I was blessed to have an extended Poly family who recognized and nurtured talents in me that I did not even see at that time. They constantly pushed me to strive to perform at a higher level and achieve great things. The relationships I forged here at Poly with adults and fellow students have continued to sustain me throughout my life. You see, it was here that I learned from the late, great, and simply amazing Janice Parker what was expected of me as an intelligent African-American woman. As she did with countless young girls who graced the halls of Poly, especially during the time I did when females were still underrepresented, she groomed me to carry myself with confidence and grace, and to remain poised and polished in all situations. Because I represented not only my family, the cheerleading squad in Poly, but all African American women. And while truly at that time, I will be the first to admit that I did not appreciate as a teenager and never thought I would ever say how grateful I am to have had Mr. David Zolan as a homeroom teacher. Let me finish. For it was Mr. Zolan who taught me the importance of following policies and procedures.
You will do that.
And holding myself accountable to high standards of acceptable behavior regardless of what popular and public opinion may be. As a principal who faced challenges and many controversies this year, I can honestly say that I relied on Mr. Zolan's wisdom tremendously. Or perhaps it was having the greatest class advisors ever, Mrs. Cora Ashford and Mr. Mark Sawyer, who encouraged me to take active leadership roles with my class and school that I am most indebted to. You see, it was during those formative years that I began to identify leadership skills that I continue to develop and refine even today. You see, like an architect, you must extrapolate the concrete from the idea, the real from the imagined, the center from the extraneous, and create a blueprint for your life. You must have a plan, young people, a building block for your future. Your destiny is far too important for you to leave to chance. It should be constructed with the mathematical logic and skills you acquired here at Poly, noting that although there are deviant lines along the way, your inherent strength and confidence in yourself will lead you to choose the plan that is destined to be your course. A perfect example of someone who had her own plan is Dr. Mae C. Jameson, the first African-American woman astronaut. In kindergarten, she wanted to become a scientist. After seeing launches of the Mercury and Gemini program flights on television, she dreamed of becoming an astronaut. Using her intellectual gifts and abilities, she remained focused on both of her goals. Entering Stanford University at 16, she graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemical Engineering and a Bachelor of Arts in African and African American Studies. She then attended Cornell Medical University and obtained her medical degree. It was while working for a health care organization that she interviewed and was accepted into the astronaut program. And in 1992, she traveled to space as the science mission specialist on the spaceship Endeavour, making both of her plans and goals realities. In her words, define what it is that you want to do. Define what your idea of happiness and success is, and not what someone else's may be for you. Then decide what skills you need to obtain that and work just for them. And realize that there are ups and downs in the road, and what you need to do is to learn how to live through those ups and downs, and eventually you will achieve your goals. In closing, I would like to remind you, to continue to persevere, Kamari Barr, as you work towards your goal of becoming a computer software engineer, so that one day I can relish in your academic accomplishments along with your parents, my dear friends, since our days here at Poly. I would also like to remind everyone to continue to be the architect of your destiny, to have the character to stand for what you believe in, Brandon Davis, and one day you will achieve your goal of becoming a neurosurgeon like your role model, Dr. Ben Carson. Continue to not be limited by others' limited imagination. That's important. I'm going to say that one again. Continue to not be limited by others' limited imagination. To plan your goals and thereby achieve your dreams. Young people, reach for the stars. And as my favorite poet, Maya Angelou, said, nothing can dim the light which shines from within. May you continue to shine brightly. I'm so very proud of you and your accomplishments today. And again, congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Trustee. We come now to the primary purpose of our gathering this evening, which is to award diplomas. Miss Andrea Hancock, would you please come forward? In recognition of the records and achievements of the students of this class and by virtue of the authority vested in me as director of Baltimore Polytechnic Institute, I certify that these students have met the graduation requirements of the Baltimore City public school system, and I take pleasure in recommending to you the graduating class of 2011.
Good afternoon. Acknowledging the certification and the recommendation by Principal Wilson and the authority vested in me as designee for Mr. Roger Shaw, the Executive Director of Secondary Schools, I also take pleasure in presenting the class for the conferring of diplomas. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor of presenting to you Ms. Sharon Brinkley Parker, Network Team Member and Designee for Dr. Andreas Alonzo, the Chief Executive Officer of Baltimore City Public Schools.
Good evening. In recognition of the certification of these graduates, the recommendation of the principal, and the acknowledgement of Andrea Hancock, Network Team Lead and Designee for the Executive Director of Secondary Schools, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Baltimore City Board of School Commissioners as the designee for Dr. Alonzo, Chief Executive Officer of the Baltimore City Public Schools, I take pleasure in accepting the graduating class of 2011 for the conferring of high school diplomas.
Diplomas will be conferred by Assistant Principal Robert Levine with the help of Assistant Principals Gretchen Lawson and Jacqueline Williams. As they come forward, each graduate will also receive a special etching of our school and a pen which symbolizes membership in the Alumni Association, both handed out by our Alumni Association representative. Yes, I must ask for your cooperation in two areas. First, please do not come to the railing to take photographs, since this will block other people's view. Instead, a picture will be taken by a professional photographer as each graduate receives a diploma. Right there. Better than any picture you can get. Or right there. Better picture than you can get. Second, please do not yell out or applaud after individual names are called. Instead, please wait until an entire side has been called. Because we want every name to be heard, and we want our ceremony to remain dignified, free from disruption, and memorable for everyone. We appreciate your consideration and thoughtfulness. Ms. Lawson, Mr. Levine.
Beng, cover ba nito buo? Kailangan pa
Will the graduates to my left please stand?
Meme, mapo ka.
Will the graduates to my right please stand? Mary Camo. Alexander Lee Katona. Tanea Pascal Kibi. Evangelia Collier-Fotis. Eric Mark Lampka.
Natasha Deanna Lane, Kareem Aaron Lawal, Christopher Robert Lee, Donna Leah Leach, Michael
Yes.
William Leung, Diamond Sade Little, Bria Monet Lloyd, Dashelle Janae Lovejoy,
Nalaglag ba?
Bianchi Jabri Lowe, Bria Lene Lau,
Tayo ka lang natin. Pwede ka matayo dyan. Maliit ka lang. Tayo ka. Okay lang. Tayo.
Okay lang.
Tierra Nicole Lynch, Tiffany Janae Mack, Miles Brian Maddox, Raymond Edward Major Jr., Anna Micah De La Cruz Manalad, Kyara Shanae Manning, DeAndre Willie Marshall, Kevin Ong Masiglac, Leanne McKinley McCoy,
Natatakot ka na lang.
Laquana F. Gray, Adrena Nicole McCullum, Jonathan Claude McKenzie,
Nakuha.
Zachary Tyler McKenzie, Abigail Natara McKinney, Destiny Alexis McKnight, Kira Chantel McKnight, Shannon Charnel McLean,
Baka di po kayo kagad yan. Nahirapan ka.
Pati ka naman. Okay na.
Alphonse Stefan Wade, Nandi Bernal Kelly Nicken, Sukana Mifta, Rashad Paris Miller, Joe S. Minley, Kiara Trinae Mitchell,
Mas marami ka na sila dito.
Taja Chelsea Mitchell, Charlotte Inez Mountain,
Ayan si Charlotte Beng.
Raven Monet Moye,
Ayan si Charlotte.
Bria Jessica Neal. Wong.
Ay, daddy. Tatay niya.
Sapphire Alisa Ward. Janae Takira Waters. Kevin Lewis Jones Watts. Sean Welch. Dana Emily Katz Nelson. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in congratulating the class. Congratulations once again to the class of 2011. As the graduates were coming by, you might have noticed that some of them were wearing medals. The people who were wearing medals were in the National Honor Society. Could those people please stand up again? The valedictorian of the class is a very special individual. This highly motivated young woman graduates with a cumulative average weighted for an 8-course program of 105.264. She has been a member of the National Honor Society, and you have met her already today as the SGA president. She has taken a vital role in Poly's future as a student member of the BPI Strategic Plan Steering Committee and a student member of the School Family Council. In these areas, she's going to have an impact on our school for many, many years to come. And there's nothing that we can say or do to show our appreciation for her, except for to say that I'm sure she'll be involved next year as she graces the campus of Harvard. Please join me in welcoming an exceptional young woman, Dana Katzenell.
Today, we, the members of the 125th class of the historic Baltimore Polytechnic Institute, transition from youth to adulthood. As we begin uniting theory and practice in our adult lives, we enter a world that asks more from us than ever before. We will have more freedom, more responsibility, more perseverance, more achievement, more choices, and more consequences. Therefore, as we enter the world beyond high school, it is more important than ever that we understand what we do. Some of us reach this moment having already learned how to conduct ourselves as adults, while others have taken on almost no personal responsibility. So the transition will be different for each of us. Regardless, we all must understand that each choice that we make has the potential to impact the rest of our lives. As silly as it sounds, choosing between Big Texas and cafeteria food for breakfast could have a ripple effect that changes the world. Now, we are all at the threshold of choosing how we shall spend the rest of our lives. Whether picking our job, our college, our major, or our friends, the choices that face us now have obvious lifelong impacts. It is easiest to follow the status quo, to assume that nothing has changed, and to continue the path laid out by the expectations of those around us. However, just because something is does not mean that it should be. Each of us is unique, with our own thoughts, desires, and preferences. What is right for one person may not be best for another. In spite of our strong STEM training, for example, some people in these chairs will seek jobs in alternative fields. In addition, we are young, and even if we have been exposed to life at its harshest, our brains are still growing and developing. During our college years, there is a good chance that we will develop new thoughts and opinions about something, perhaps marriage and family. It is important that we be open to recognizing our own internal growth and change. Only then, if we both take ourselves into account and show goodness and mercy toward others, can we make the best decision for our adult lives. As a last parting word of advice, a wise person once told me that if we work as hard as we can at what makes us truly happy, then the rest will follow. Congratulations, Poly Class of 2011, for your outstanding achievements. We could not have reached this day without help from our families, our friends, our teachers, our mentors, our administrators, the Poly staff, and Baltimore City school officials. On behalf of the Baltimore Polytechnic Institute, Class of 2011, I would like to thank everyone who supported us on our journey to greatness. We've had an incredible 4 years, and we're on our way to incredible lives. Thank you all, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Dana. Poly's focus is on academic excellence. Acknowledging student achievement is thus a wonderful way to culminate the high school experience. Many of our graduates received awards at our banquet last Thursday. Their names are listed in the insert of your program, and we would like to ask all of the award recipients to stand at this time. Thank you. Also at this time, I would like to acknowledge a young lady who has had perfect attendance from pre-kindergarten through 12th grade.
No way.
Usually at this point I would say, how many of us did you get sick as you came to school sick? But congratulations for perfect attendance throughout your career, your whole career, you usually say high school, your whole career. Would Kamari Barb please stand up? Thank you, Kamari. We have reserved our most prestigious awards for presentation this evening. These students are not yet aware of the honors they are about to receive. The Polytechnic Foundation every year executes the bequest of Mr. William F. Tiger Tapkin, a Poly graduate, 1909, and member of the engineering department from 1921 to 1957, and awarding a substantial scholarship to an engineering option student, which is renewable for 4 years. The other award is based on the bequest of Mr. Grafton Rogers.
Engineering.
I'm going to take these awards in reverse order, if you don't mind. Grafton Rogers was 92 years old when he first came to the foundation office and gave us the rights to his latest invention. It was a special cap for toothpaste tubes that made them easy to open by senior citizens. We never made much money from those rights, but in his will, Grafton Rogers gave us $440,000. We used that sum to endow a scholarship for a superior student going on to study science at the college level. The grant is $3,000 for each of the next 4 years, and the winner of the Rogers Scholarship, who I would like to have come forward, is Lawrence Way.
Straight up to the rail.
Wow. Pagpataas ng grade niya, kung ano nila gusto niya. At least ako nag-enjoy ko.
The Tap King Scholarship is also for $3,000 for each of the next 4 years. It goes to a student who will study engineering at the college level, and this year that student is Armani Vaughn.
Thank you, Ms. Strickland. I arrived at Poly 17 years ago as an adjunct teacher, not knowing anything, just having got a job, but one person who took me under her wing and did a lot for me to watch me rise to where I am today, but not tomorrow. With Miss Barbara Strickland, who unfortunately for us, but great for her, retiring after this year. She doesn't want me to make a big deal out of it, so I won't, but I will say that she has been a teacher, a department head, and she has also been an interim principal here at the Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. And she has served this school every year since 1968, even in retirement. Miss Krusty, she's a graduate of Western. But today, we're going to confer a diploma on you, Miss Strickland. You are now a graduate of Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. Glad she's happy. I know how she's going to take that. Our final award this evening is the Principal's Medal of Honor. This award was established by the class of 1927 to recognize a graduate who has endeavored to broaden his or her education by doing well not only in scholastic activities, but also by participation in extracurricular activities. Service and leadership, as well as scholarship, are thus qualifications for the recipient of the Solid Gold Award Medal. It's considered to be Poly's most prestigious award, and I'm very proud at this time to call forward a very worthy young lady to receive it. An A-Course student, this young lady has participated in Honor Society as its co-president and was an active member of the Filipino Club. She always served as a tour guide for open houses and was a former president of the Science Olympiad team. She's a member of the yearbook staff and made a page this year for a club she founded, the Glee Club. She'll attend school at George Washington University this fall. Please join me in congratulating Anna Manalad. She's not going to George Washington. She's going to the College of Notre Dame. She won't be leaving. Congratulations, Anna. At this time, I wish to thank all the parents and families of our graduates. Your support and encouragement have added to the success that we are recognizing this evening. You should be very proud. And I will ask our graduates to show their appreciation to you by giving their family a well-earned applause. Before we sing the Poly hymn, I also wish to express my sincere gratitude to the many faculty and staff members who worked very hard behind the scenes to make this graduation possible. First, our appreciation goes to our band, directed by Trudy Benton, who each year has worked hard to transform the fledgling musicians into a quality musical group. Thank you, Ms. Benton. Mr. Mark Sawyer coordinated the commencement activities, working countless hours behind the scenes, and did the SATs as well this morning. Thank you, Mr. Sawyer. Other faculty names are listed on the inside back of the program, and at this time I would ask that all Poly staff members stand to be recognized for the outstanding job you do every day for our students at school. We have recognized Mr. James Tadaro, the senior class advisor, but there's another class advisor in attendance today, and I'd like to honor Ms. Kathleen Hooks, who's Thank you, Ms. Hooks. Lastly, on a personal note, I'd like to thank a gentleman who was here for the first 3 years of your high school career, Dr. Barney Wilson. Dr. Wilson called me this morning, and he did send his fond wishes to all of you during your graduation. But more than that, he said, "What a beautiful day we have today." That was at that time, in the morning. But he also said that God loves Poly, and everything's going to be all right. And that's all I was thinking about when it was starting to rain here just before we started. And at the exact same time that I was worried about what we were going to do, he texted me again and said, "Don't worry, this will pass. Everything's going to be fine." So I want to thank Dr. Wilson for giving us great weather today. Following the ceremony, I don't know how to, I don't have this in the program because there's no way to honor her, the amount of work that she did. But Ms. Wilson, no relation to Dr. Wilson, worked extremely hard for this class to get them through. Thank you very much. And Mr. Levine. few of you owe Miss Williams a little gratitude for not kicking you out of here. But we all thank Miss Williams. Following the ceremony, please remain in the stands until the recessional is completed. Your students will be coming back out after the recessional. You can meet up then and go have your fun at your parties. So thank you all on behalf of Baltimore Polytechnic Institute and the 125th celebration and commencement. Thank you. I went to City, so I didn't know this. At this time, graduates, please turn your rings in the opposite direction. My bad. Baltimore Polytechnic class of 2011 graduates, please rise.
Baka nagsuot lang siya ng mga para papasok sa gate.
Ito tayo mag-picture ng mga dress.
May nasa ilalim.
Ay, nasa ilalim, bigay mo daw kayo niya. Kahit sa nanay daw niya. Kahit sa nanay daw niya.